guys, so it's been a second. Apologies. I was like, oh, I'm gonna film all these videos in the middle of like Black Friday season, which if you can tell, I wish I could say like, oh look, sorry I've been gone. I was on a tropical vacation and be all tan, but judging by my pastiness and a pandemic, um, I've just been writing Black Friday and Cyber Monday emails and sales funnels all month. It is a crazy time. So anyway, I'm back. Hi, hello, welcome. In case you're new here, I'm Jackie. I'm a copywriter. I've been doing this for far too long now. I should probably retire. So today I thought I would make a video on why, oh wait, really quick. Since it is the holiday season, I have a deal on Pipeline, my ebook on how to like get your entire client pipeline full in 30 days, give or take generously, of course. Down below, and also a deal on my power hours, which is a whole hour where we sit together, talk about all your life problems. Sometimes those calls turn into your life problems, not just copywriting. That's fine. I'm here for you. But deals on those down below. But anyway, I thought I would film a video on signs that copywriting is for you. And I'm pretty sure I have not filmed this video. Pretty sure, you film so many videos at some point, and it's not even that many that sometimes you just like black out what you have even talked about. But I know I filmed a video on signs that copywriting is like not a career for you. So I thought I would just film the alternative on like signs that you probably should be a copywriter. So let's dive in. Number one, ads and all of that is just interesting to you. You see an ad and it sparks your interest. You have to have some kind of interest in advertising to work in copywriting. Like I meet a lot of people who are inherently raging against. Now, there's an argument of like raging against like bad ads and like steezy salespeople, and that's fair. But if you spend all of your energy in like raging against it, you're probably not meant to be a copywriter. Like, if you just hate advertisement and hate what it's done to like everything, which are all fair arguments and all should be discussed at the table, but you have to like ads to even have like an interest in copywriting. Now, of course, you can like design your career to only work for what you think are ethical businesses and nonprofits if you want to, and design your life that way, and that's fair. But ads still, above all, and email funnels and all of these things have to interest you a little bit, or else you're just like making things you hate, which will not work. So you have to like ads. Number two, you like people. You think people are interesting at the very least. You don't have to be the most social person ever, even though most copywriters I meet are incredibly social, even though they have that little bit of introverted, like I need some time to like recharge thing, but they like people. You have to like people because you have to study them and like deep dive into their research and psychology basically for your job. Like you have to you have to be empathetic. Like that's the hardest thing that I'm realizing through all of these like this YouTube channel and talking to people and like teaching copywriting is it's very hard to teach empathy and like hard to teach, and I don't know how to do this yet and I'm still figuring this out. Because really what copywriters do is deep dive into people's pain points and present them with a potential solution to ease that pain. And some people sometimes are like, I don't know how to find these pain points, or like I don't know what these people care about, and it's like there's just this lack of like understanding how to care about people's pain. That is a huge gap. I mean, I'm not saying that people aren't empathetic. It's just like you have to have that kind of quality about yourself. Like you want to find solutions to people's pain. A lot of copywriters I meet in real life, and granted, I hang out with pretty like people who I think are not like doing like multi-level marketing and that kind of stuff, but like they're pretty cool people, and like they're always like topics come up of like world hunger and all these like heavy topics of like the world's pain because you're intimately aware of it as a copywriter. So you gotta have that a little bit, in my opinion. I'm sure there are many people who feel nothing for other people who are doing just fine, but generally that's my take on it. Number three is that psychology and sales are both interesting topics to you. you gotta find them a little bit interesting. Sales, there's a lot, I've talked on this channel a lot about, like, there's the creative side of you, and then there's like the business side of you. And as a copywriter, you have to balance both, and most people do not have both. They're either like business numbers, outgoing all the time, and like they don't spend time nurturing their creativity and all that. But so psychology is like the mind of people, and like I said, the empathy and how they work and what they're interested in and what gets people to tick, and how you can grab people and what they care about, and like all that good weird, because humans are weird people. Like, we are just weird. Like, we all think we're extremely logical and just perfect and like fine, but you need to spend some time reading psychology books, which I'll get on a topic about like my recommended stuff down below. Let me make a note, recommended. But you have to find sales and psychology interesting. You have to also work on your sales skills, because copywriting is literally a combination of psychology and sales into the form of writing, which gets me into number 4. You actually have to like writing. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't spend their free time just like writing things. Like, you look at their desks and it's not like, this with like endless notebooks and other things like that. And not that all copywriters just carry around notebooks all the time, like, but there is an element of writing is enjoyable, because if writing's not enjoyable, oh boy, do I have some news for you about how much you're about to hate your life. And that's not to say that you can't understand copyright. Like, there's so many elements of marketing. Marketing is such a huge, if you just Google like marketing umbrella, like you will see like SEO, PPC, marketing funnels. It's huge. The whole spectrum of marketing is huge. And if you're someone who's interested in copywriting but you don't like to write, you can study copywriting like anyway, but like work in, I don't know, some other form of marketing, but like having that knowledge of copywriting is never a bad thing. So just an idea. You have to like to write. It's a thing. You just gotta like have an interest in writing in general, because all you're gonna do all the time besides talk to your clients and negotiate with their feelings is write. And you gotta put words to a page, and a whole blank cursor is like something you gotta get past, which I have another video on like writer's block if you're in that stage, because it happens to all of us. But you have to like writing. And then the last one that kind of makes copywriting unique as opposed to other kinds of writing is that you have to like data, and have to like how it kind of like formulates your work. Like, I've been hell-bent on what I think is right about copywriting and a campaign I've written and like all things like that. And then you gotta put your ego all the way aside when you've looked at the data and you go, oh my God, I was wrong. Yeah, like there's been many times where like I get on the back end of the data of like the open rates and all the things and like how the campaign is really truly working. And I'm like, wow, I missed the mark on that. And which is okay. Like, people think that you have to be perfect out the gate with copywriting every time, and that's just not like really how it is. Unless you're selling some giant like 6-figure campaign, and even then you usually have so much data, like you build up to that. Like, no one goes from like, oh, I'm a nobody to like a 6-figure launch in like 2 months. That's not how that works. So you have data and you have all these things to help you, guide you, but you have to find data interesting. You have to find click-through rates. You have to find, customer research, surveys, like opt-ins, all of that fun data, like mildly interesting, which was something like, that was something I learned to love. That was something definitely not right out the gate. I was like, this is so fun. I was like, if I look at another spreadsheet, I'm gonna die. But now, just like all these areas, right? Like, I was a person, just context, no one outside of anything I'm saying, but like, I was a person, I just knew I wanted to write for work. I knew that from like high school, right? It was always interested in me. Other things were interesting, but that was like the be all end all of everything, right? And I was like, no matter what, my career is gonna look like where I just like write for work. And I was not really attached to how that personally like worked. I wasn't like, oh, I need to be an author. I didn't dream of like you know, people reading my books. I didn't dream of anything like that. You know, I just knew I just like writing. And so, but I've always found an interest in like people and sales and like, you know, I took business classes that applied absolutely nothing to my major, for fun, which LOL at that few $1,000s just like poof, but actually no, still paying it back. Not poof, it's anyway, side tangent. So, you know, but I learned to love sales. I didn't I'm I don't want to say I'm naturally good at sales, but I'm naturally like a people person. Like if you put me at the front of like any store, I will chat up I can turn that on like in my body of like, and I've learned to do that, and I've just like learned to like people and talk to people and be, you know, is it my absolute natural nature? Did I start out that way? No. And I started out as like a journalist and like going after people and like writing like down with the man articles, and then ended up, you know, in sales and marketing. But there was a point of that. Anyway, I learned to love data was the only point. And all of these things you can learn to love, but there has to be some kind of theme amongst all of them that at least interests you. Like if you, you know, love writing, but you hate sales with every bone in your body and it just is such a turnoff to you, you're going to struggle a little bit in copywriting. Anyway, that's pretty much it. 5 signs that like copywriting might be a good career for you and it might be a good fit. And I think always, like I've said with on many power hour calls about people who are trying to like, is it worth it to spend all of this time researching it, learning it, studying it, practicing it if I don't use it? And this is just one of those careers. Like one of my hobbies is wood burning. And does it help my day-to-day life? Like not really. You know, I can look at some kinds of woods and like spot a few like very, very generic forms of wood, and I'm like, cool, I know a thing or two about them. But copywriting is one of those careers that if you learn how to sell through words, like whether you are, you know, I've always said like if you're on dating apps or if you're you know, you're applying for jobs or you decide to go into anything else, learning how to be persuasive through the written word is the most important thing I think you could ever do. So I don't think any time wasted, not wasted, but like any time you spend learning copywriting is not wasted. So that is it. Also, side note, down below, I'm trying to put together all of the like resources I use. And I thought of this because I just mentioned books. I'm gonna put a link to that down below. It's like a whole Notion database, and Notion is like my bae. I love Notion so much, so much. Please sponsor a video. I love you guys. But I'm gonna put my Notion database down below to talk about kind of like it's all of the and I'm still compiling it, so like it's not finished yet, but it's there on all of the services and like business things that I use to run my business. And one of the things in there is like, I'm also just putting like accounts that I have for other people to like follow. One of the accounts is Goodreads, which is what I use to like track my books and track my stuff. And I finally started like updating it with like books I'm reading, books I've read, all these things. So you can see the books that I actually like in regards to copywriting, sales, psychology, all of that. So I'm finally making these lists, guys. I swear, make a video on my favorite things. I think I'm gonna wrap up the year with like my favorite things throughout the year. Like here they all are, blah, just like a dump of all of them. But that's pretty much it. If there's anything you want me to cover before the end of the year, let me know down below. I'm not gonna make any promises about my video content or like what I'm getting up. I'm gonna try so hard, but like, you know, it's peak sales time for all marketers. So that's pretty much it. And, you know, hi guys, thank you for tolerating my insane, one day I'll be like a YouTuber with a real schedule because like the costs justify like the work anyway, we're getting there. So subscribe. I think I'm almost at 3,000, which is absolutely wild. Everybody should leave. It feels weird. Also, I think, like, if we could just hit 3,000 and then just stay there and, like, never grow again, so, like, nobody who's, like, weird and mean, like, ends up on my channel ever, nobody ever finds it, like, that would be so nice. So if you could all just, like, never engage with my videos, so, like, it never grows. Thank you so much! I appreciate you! Anyway, guys, that is it. Happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate it. If not, like, you're an honorary American now, go eat some mac and cheese. Okay, bye.